I'll show you how it's done. Shazam!
Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Underdeveloped here, and today we have another review here for you. The review is to the movie Civil War, another A24 piece. A24 seems to be the only studio out there in Hollywood that's making any good movies.
Exactly. Well, consistently at least.
Consistently, yeah, on a consistent basis for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. This is Civil War is A24. Still different than typical movies. This is more like this is like a little more high budget, I guess, in concept. And it's more ambitious than a lot of them, yeah. That's more it is. It's more ambitious. It's not the type of story that A24 is famous for telling. It's usually more personal dramas, more low budget style kind of. Which, in a sense, this is, I guess, reasonable. I mean, this is about $50 million. This is not cheap. Yeah. This is expensive for a studio like A24.
Well, luckily for them, this is getting like pretty good, like good for A24 standards of box office already. From its first week. I heard it broke an A24 record, so I'm like, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's high level concept because this is about the world building, and it's usually like very small and petite in production scale.
Yes.
So this is a very different type of project for. Yeah. Like this is an ambitious big project for A24. Mm-hmm. The closest they ever came was with Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, that's the only time I could think of where they really had like a very effect-heavy kind of movie.
But this one you really can't pull off unless you have a big budget.
Yeah, with how what the plot is.
Because your plot budget, your SPFX budget, you know what I mean? Like, your practical effects, like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, just a lot.
In this, you know what I mean? In this story. Mm-hmm. But anyways, yeah. So this movie is directed by Alex Garland. Nick, you could tell us what he's done.
Yeah, Alex Garland is a screenwriter and director. He's known for writing the screenplays for a lot of notable films like 28 Days Later. He also wrote Looking for a Dream and The Black Swan, and he also directed movies like Ex Machina, Annihilation with Natalie Portman.
So big on sci-fi.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, yeah. So those first two were sci-fi. They directed
Ex Machina.
Yeah, that's the first two he directed.
It's Machina and Annihilation.
Yeah, those were the first two movies he directed.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
So all he's really done is sci-fi.
Well, no, he's done movies outside
in terms of directing.
Well, no, because he also directed Men, which was more of a horror movies. I didn't see it, so maybe it has some sci-fi elements, but I didn't really get that kind of vibe from it. Well, this movie is about, basic synopsis, it's about a group of reporters, war photographers more specifically, who are trying to go across America during the Second Civil War that has erupted for some reason that's admittedly a little nebulous, but they do leave some hints. And it's basically just their journey traveling across the country as they aim to get to the White House, to go to Washington, D.C., so that they can get the last words of the president before he's very inevitably taken out.
Played by Nick Offerman, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, that's basically the overall plot of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. We're it's a slice of life almost in a way, because already we were not at the beginning of this whole, because this is obviously an alternate reality where shit really went off the walls. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so we kind of get thrown into the mix with no real caution. So we're just following these people, these press people, along with this young and hungry photographer who idolizes the main character, Kirsten Dunst, because she's a war photographer, mm-hmm. and we just follow them as they go countryside, you know, on their journey, and then a lot of shit happens on the way.
Yeah,
a lot of deadly shit, and we kind of pick up things about where we live in now. But this movie's more about, at least in terms of like tone, meaning we're talking about in the car on the way home, is more about, I guess, from the perspective of like dehumanization and violence. Yes. And what that does, and what that, and how you see it from the outside. Because in terms of the filmmaker perspective, it's more like the point is kind of, the reason is kind of relevant. The fact that we're doing it, and this is the outcome of what we're doing. So we need to stop it.
Because like this is just historically how people treat each other in times of crisis. Because that's basically what the movie is about in terms of themes. It's not what the actual crisis is not important. This honestly could have been anything. This is just a reflection of how people act and how people can act in very different ways with whether it be you're desensitized to violence as like an outsider looking in, you're desensitized to violence as someone committing it, or someone just defending yourself. You could be like, you can be in all sorts of positions, and you end up like this kind of same way where you view people as being like not quite human anymore, and you're way more okay with just seeing all the horrible things you're seeing.
And then it's even a scene, which is easily my favorite scene in the movie, where they're in this like weird little circus like
it's like this Christmas theme park in the middle of summer.
In the middle of nowhere, and it ends up a sniper inside a fucking house, and these two guys is in like guerrilla style, like camouflage into the ground, into the bushes, like, yo, we trying to take these guys out. And the press guy, the poor man's Pedro Pascal, he's saying like, hey, well, like what's like, why are we doing this? Like, what's going on? He's like, they're trying to kill us, and we're trying to kill them.
Yeah,
and that's kind of pretty much reminiscent of what the whole point of the movie.
Yeah,
that kind of tells you exactly what's going on. Carl Gluss actually saw him in this real visceral, sexually charged movie called Love. It was a Cannes film. Yeah, that had some visceral fucking.
Okay.
Straight up. But anyways,
that's so irrelevant.
I mean, it's irrelevant, but I see him in the cast. That's why I brought it up.
Okay.
Got some really weird movies. Oh yeah, that guy. I recognize his face. I don't know who he played in the movie, but whatever.
Yeah, he played that guy who was like he had all the bodies hung up in like that shed.
Well, that was him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what he looks like. It looks like that dude.
I didn't recognize that he looked like that. But whatever. Anyways, yeah. So like with this. So yeah, 7 minutes. All right, so like, anyways, the way I see this, though, actually, I'll let you. What do you think about this movie first off?
All right, overall, I think this is a very like emotional, intense kind of movie. Like, it's very much a movie where it's going to make you a little uneasy watching it because it just has a lot of really like hard hitting, a lot of really just strong things, strong emotional cores happening. It's kind of like just really gritty and just kind of gross and makes you just feel a little disgusted that we can be this way, that shit like this can happen, that we can treat each other this way. And really, I feel like immediately going after the theater, I was a little disappointed at first because I was like, I would like to know more about this world. I want to know more about all the details and stuff because that's kind of how like the movie was kind of hyped up, at least how A24 was hyping up, which sounds like a really bad idea in hindsight of actually seeing the movie because that's really not what the movie's about.
Yeah, they really pulled the collateral beauty.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, we're gonna show this map and there's all these factions and like, oh, watch the movie. The movie's not about that.
But it is A24 movie, so they don't have that kind of budget to get into all that stuff.
True. Even if Garland wanted to go that route, he probably couldn't have.
So maybe he did. Maybe he retailed his idea for that purpose.
Knowing the movies he makes, I'm really not entirely convinced.
But he doesn't really get high budget movies, anyways.
Yeah, but he's very much a writer and director who's very much focused on very intimate stories about a close-knit group of people doing things.
Sure.
Like that. Like even with a scope like this, it's just not really his kind of vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, of course he could go against it, but he's yet to, at least to my knowledge.
Sure.
Yeah. But anyways, I feel like what this movie does really well is it depicts. Oh, hold on, I'm losing my train of thought. I don't even remember where the fuck I was. But anyways, now that I've seen the movie, I don't really feel that way anymore. Where I feel like, oh, we really should have all this more information, all this more context, because like immediately I wanted that context, but now that I'm really time to sit on this movie and think about it, I feel like less is more here. I feel like having extra context would make it way too easy to actually pick a side, be less impartial, be like, oh yeah, that president guy is an asshole. He deserves to get what he got. In which case, we would just be desensitized and viewing the characters just like how they are kind of viewing each other in the movie. While this movie is like, no, you're not supposed to join them. They're supposed to realize, no, this is wrong. It's wrong to view people this way. No matter what side of the aisle you're sitting on, we should view people like human beings. So I feel like trying his best to remove context is just the only way you really could have stayed impartial in a movie like this, to have your audience stay impartial at least.
Sure. All right. Yeah. One thing I do like about this movie, first off, the sound design is amazing. Like I never felt the impact of gunshots in any other movie that I've ever seen. And we were in like Alamo Theater in downtown Manhattan, where it's small. Imagine us being like an IMAX or Dolby Cinema where we could really feel it. Like it's loud, but not loud in like a peaking kind of way. Loud, and like you really feel the impact, the power of that gunshot, the kickback. You know what I mean? And then when it hits the person, the blood, like it feel. And then sometimes they have a lot of scenes where we're showing trauma and they're doing it and they're overscoring music over it, which is even more powerful than hearing all the sound effects. Yeah. The sound design is incredible. I'll give it that for sure. The acting is good. The characters are good. But I have the opposite problem. Even though they did light up on the fact that that is a good way to approach the story too, because those are some valid points. I'm very much a person that's into the big world building, I'm very into like the why of stuff. I like to know the reason. That's why I got into wanting to make movies and write stuff, because I like psychology. I like the reasons of why. That's what attracts me to a movie. So when you eliminate that reason, even if I get it, it leaves an unsatisfying hole in my stomach that needs to be fulfilled. You know, I feel teased because he really set up an interesting world with a lot of interesting dynamics, which could have been caused by a lot of weird scenarios, a lot of shit coming together. And I'm like, I want to know what the fuck is going on. I'm sorry, that's a more interesting story to me. A lot of these guys are cool and great, but like, I want to know what this president did, how this shit went to shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like that's where the story, that's the bread and butter. Fuck, I mean, if you want people giving sides, I mean, you could still give the reasons why and still try to frame it from an impartial point of view. You know what I mean? It's really about interpretation, but you're trying to like make us interpret the way you want.
Yeah, he's trying to force a specific interpretation for the audience.
I don't like that. You know what I mean? Because you can't have both ways. You can't try to be fucking ambiguous and then also try to frame the movie in a way that's gonna make us feel a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, nah, you're playing both sides. I feel, and I'm not even saying we need a whole bunch of because I like the fact they didn't tell us anything. You know what I mean? Because I would hate it if they just were spewing out shit that they should already know as characters. But they could have hit like a montage in the beginning, or like a bit of VO over it, maybe of like the writer. You know what I mean? Like chronicling what's going on.
You don't even need anything that direct. You could have done it
opening title card sequence.
No, but I'm saying you don't even need to be that direct with it. You could have done it the same way that Children of Men did it, where you just get like commercials and shit, and just people talking, and you kind of pick things up. They
did a way better job of world building in this movie. This movie did a good job, but Children of Men is the blueprint to how they completely tell a visual story.
Children of Men has peak visual storytelling and world building. It is absolutely
because you
classic.
knew everything that the characters knew, because there were things in there that we won't know, but the characters don't know it either. You know what I mean? So it isn't but these characters know what's going on, but it's not telling us, and they shouldn't tell us. We should be able to figure it out by how you build your world around. Yeah. But you're specifically withholding that information.
We only get like little hints as to what happened. Like, okay, we know this president has 3 terms.
And he just didn't. Yeah, like I don't know how the hell he broke that rule.
There was something called the Antifa massacre. Like, we know something happened.
What? Like, let me see. Give me something. You know, give me some more. Even within the parameters of your story, give me a little taste of what's going on. Give me something. Fuck. Give me the interview at least. You know what I mean? Give me. I just wanted to, because at least the interview we'd have had answer some questions, and it would have came up to, and eventually with everything that's been building up, getting to this moment is like, hey, we finally get some answers, and not to get answers at all. Fuck, come on, no. You know what I mean? I need answers. Like you tell me you get me hyped up for this all movie. You know what I mean? Just to smack it down. And I get that is a possibility. I was fully aware that this was definitely a possible route they could take, but I'm still happy they took it. This is definitely a personal taste for me. So I have to give it a score just off of my preference for how movies should be told. So yeah, I give this movie 83, and I give this before I even realized what the score was.
Yeah, because
it is ironically came on because it feels right. It feels exactly.
I can vouch for him here. He said before I looked it up
at the right spot. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly like good, but not great. I think it has the potential for greatness. I think it has some great moments in it. And you know what I mean, if you could flesh out this world more, you could have a really great movie. But it's still just very solid movie for sure. I thought this was good.
Personally, I'm gonna give it an 88. I really like this movie. Really, the only things that really take it down for me are like some specific character choices I thought were just kind of weak. Like again, I thought the whole twist at the end were like, okay, she was gonna take a picture of Kirsten Dunst's character dying. Like that, I predicted that like maybe halfway through the movie. It was like this very obvious.
Which makes you think that she was secretly evil and fucked up. I was setting that whole thing up in a sense.
Could have been. Again, that wouldn't be super out of character for an Alex Garland movie, so hey, maybe that is the case.
But I'm cool with that being ambiguous, because that's not that important.
Yeah, but then there's also some other stupid shit, like them like jumping from car to car for no reason.
That was crazy. It was fun to look at, though, but that was. I
don't know. I feel like that was just a random dumb moment. Like, dude,
because those two guys were zany as fuck.
Yeah, but you guys could have died at any moment in this fucking random road on this middle of nowhere.
Those guys are obviously unhinged, though, so it's not out of character for them to do shit like that.
Yeah, but it just feels like kind of weak storytelling to like introduce two characters in a weird way, act in a way we don't really see in the world, and then immediately kill them off in the next scene.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, because I didn't them two was gonna die specifically.
Yeah, because they were there just to be killed by Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, really, which was good, but he only really had one scene. Yeah, he obviously someone who's like definitely a true blood American, definitely embraces all the religious right wing politics of the world.
It's like, okay, you're from Missouri, Colorado. Well, that's America.
It is a right wing versus left wing, liberal versus.
We very much get like
right wing extremists. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we getting
from
like,
the little bits we hear? Like, it's very obvious that at least I think like if you're looking,
racist.
I think if you're looking for it, you can see like a bit of a Trump, or at least a Trump like kind of QAnon mindset with like the whole main government guys. Mm-hmm. I think you get little hints of that, but again, it's nothing super specific. Yeah, which I'm like, yeah, we don't really know the full story of anything, but we know that these guys are fucking assholes. And admittedly, everyone kind of is, but these guys are like arguably worse. Who knows? Again, it's hard to pick a side when you know so little context.
All right, yeah. So that's how I feel about it. I think this is definitely deserving of a watch.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, absolutely.
I felt the character from Origin, the main character, actually could have done very well in this movie. Given that she's also a journalist and a great narrator, you know what I mean? Like I felt she could have. Her overseeing of this movie could have been her coverage of the movie could have been pretty inspired.
Oh, it would have been like if she was here and she was teaming up with like Jake Gyllenhaal from fucking Nightcrawler, they would be a dream team in this movie.
A movie I haven't seen, but I trust you.
They would thrive in this environment. I'm just saying. But silly crossover movies aside, that's all we have for you today, folks. Please support good movies, your local theaters. Go watch them. This is very much something you can absolutely consider to watch if it piques your interest. And, of course, hit the subscribe button. We'll catch you more for more videos.
See you guys later.